Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
IYO Sky shocked the world when she defeated Rhea Ripley clean in the main event of Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago. Sky signed the contract for her WrestleMania match against Bianca on Raw this week, which saw an interference from the Eradicator. IYO sent a warning to Bianca and Rhea after their heated confrontation last Monday. Over the past weeks, tension has been brewing between Sky, Belair, and Ripley. Rhea forcefully signed the Women's World Championship match contract for WrestleMania on this week's Raw. The whole segment ended in a heated brawl. After the show, the Women's World Champion sent a message to the other two stars. "I promised everyone here I will defend my championship at WrestleMania. That's why I absolutely have to keep my belt and title." Rhea Ripley, she came back again. "Bianca, you are strong. Rhea is also strong. But I am the best. Keep your eyes on me," said Sky. Fans are now expecting a triple threat match at Mania for the Women's World Championship. It will be exciting to see the build to this match in the upcoming weeks leading up to the show of shows. Rhea Ripley is trying to insert herself into the WrestleMania match. Bianca Belair and IYO Sky were supposed to sign the contract for their WrestleMania match for the Women's World Championship. Everything went on as planned until Rhea Ripley marched to the ring and destroyed both women. The Eradicator powerbombed the Genius of the Sky and the EST on a table. She also forcefully signed her name on the contract, trying to insert herself into the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. General Manager Adam Pearce pointed out multiple times that it was not legally binding for him to insert her into the match, but Mommy was not willing to listen. It will be interesting to see if Ripley is actually inserted into the World Tilt-A match in the coming weeks. The echoes of battle still lingered in the air after WWE Raw's chaotic main event. The crowd was electric, still reeling from the heated confrontation that saw IYO Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair at each other's throats. As the show went off the air, tensions were at an all-time high, and it became evident that the stakes had just been raised. But what followed after the cameras stopped rolling was even more explosive, a chilling warning from IYO Sky that neither Ripley nor Belair could afford to ignore. The collision on Raw. The night had already been wild, but things reached a boiling point when IYO Sky, the current WWE Women's Champion, found herself entangled in a volatile face-off with two of WWE's most dominant women, Rhea Ripley, the reigning Women's World Champion, and Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE. It started when Sky, alongside Damage Control, interrupted a segment where Belair was laying claim to another title opportunity. The former champion, still fuming over her previous losses, made it clear she wasn't done with IYO. But just as the situation grew tense, a familiar force of dominance made her presence felt, Rhea Ripley. The Judgment Day's powerhouse had no reason to be there. Or so it seemed. But with her imposing presence, she made sure to remind everyone exactly who was in control of WWE's women's division. "I don't care about your little squabbles," Rhea had said with a smirk. "But if either of you steps in my way, I will end you." That was all it took. Within seconds, the tension exploded into an all-out brawl as Sky lunged at Belair, and Ripley found herself drawn into the chaos. Referees and officials rushed to separate them, but not before Sky landed a vicious springboard dropkick that sent Rhea tumbling through the ropes. As the dust settled, the three women stood apart, eyes burning with unspoken threats. Raw ended on that volatile note, but IYO Sky wasn't done talking. IYO Sky's ominous warning. Moments after the show went off the air, Sky took to WWE's Backstage digital exclusive to send a clear message. The champion, her breathing still heavy from the intense battle, wiped sweat from her brow before staring directly into the camera. "Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair," she started in her signature blend of English and Japanese. "You think you are the strongest? The most dominant?" She let out a cold laugh, her smirk barely hiding her fury. "I am IYO Sky. The Genius of the Sky. And I am the most dangerous champion in WWE." She shifted her focus, clearly unimpressed by Rhea Ripley's earlier threats. Rhea, you act like you own this division. You act like you are untouchable. But tonight, I made you fall. Just like I will make you fall again if you ever step in my way. The fury in her voice intensified as she addressed Bianca next. And you, Bianca. You don't learn, do you? You want another shot? You want to take my title? You have lost to me before, and you will lose again. You say you are the EST, but I am the best. The smartest. The fastest. And the most dangerous. Her voice lowered as she leaned closer into the camera, her expression dark and foreboding. This is not a warning. This is a promise. She paused, then smirked, delivering a final statement in Japanese, translated to, "Play with fire, and you will fall from the sky." What's next? With this declaration, it was clear that IYO Sky was more than ready to defend her championship, by any means necessary. But what would this mean for Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair? Ripley, the reigning women's world champion, is not one to take threats lightly. She has dominated Raw with an iron fist, and the idea of another top champion challenging her dominance could force her into a fight she wasn't expecting. For Bianca, the message was just as clear: if she wanted another shot at IYO Sky's championship, she would have to prove she was more than just the EST in name. With tensions boiling over, WWE fans can expect nothing short of war in the coming weeks. Will Rhea Ripley retaliate and remind everyone why she's called the Eradicator? Will Bianca Belair rise once more and reclaim her spot at the top? Or will IYO Sky, the self-proclaimed most dangerous champion, make good on her promise and send both women crashing down? One thing is certain: WWE's women's division has just entered a new era of chaos, and IYO Sky is ready to reign supreme.